Okay, let's do this over again. If you saw my April Fool's video, I did a review of Classics Optimus Prime, and basically the whole purpose of that April Fool's video was to make fun of myself, because I am definitely not the best with getting every little aspect of the transformation right, or every aspect of little information, and I decided to just, absolutely play dumb in that video. But I have actually been wanting to make a video on the Classics Prime mold and my repaints of it. I have talked about Classics Prime in the past. About 5 years ago, I did an old versus new against him and I believe Siege Optimus. But I think it's time to give this guy another go and to talk about his various repaints I have, because I absolutely love this toy so much. It is still one of my absolute favorite iterations of Optimus Prime in toy form, and I have some repaints. With Optimus Prime toys, I try not to get repaints because I like having, each one be unique. But this is actually an exception where I have two different versions of Optimus, then I have a Nemesis and an Ultra Magnus. Now, if it's a different character, I'm usually a little bit more lenient on my repaint rule, but I did break my rule with this guy. I have not only the original Classics deco, but I do also have the Age of Extinction G1 toy deco. This is actually the one I had first, and I love this deco for this figure. I think it's absolutely fantastic. But as much as I love it, I've always wanted to have the Classics deco, the yellow and everything that I called Canadian in my April Fool's video. That was just some BS. It is not a Canadian deco. But this Nemesis Prime deco is from San Diego Comic-Con from back in the day, and this Ultra Magnus deco is from a 2-pack with Classics Skywarp. And I love that 2-pack. It is very, very cool that they did Magnus and Skywarp in a 2-pack. Such a great way to put out like an exclusive. I think it was Target exclusive, if I'm not mistaken. But obviously, Optimus was just a main line for Transformers Classics. Now, Classics came out all the way back in '06. It was the line right before the live-action movie and right after Transformers Cybertron. And honestly, the feel of this figure is very Transformers Cybertron. He's very, very beefy, very chunky, very high quality. Now, obviously, he is a little dated. In my April Fool's video, I was talking about how he's a little dated, and I definitely goofed up that one. But the main thing with him is this arm kibble, where he has these big old, sections of the truck just hanging off of his arm. They don't even really tab in. They just kind of sit there. But honestly, I kind of like it. I think it looks kind of cool. I actually do enjoy it. And then, obviously, these things on the back, they don't just dangle there. These actually are an alternate gun. You can actually give him a second gun. I typically just like it being on his back. But here, I'll show it with Optimus here. I don't think I'll do it for all of them. You can just untab it. And then this gun is actually pretty neat how it unfolds. You kind of just... What do you do with this? It's been so long since I've taken this gun out. Alright, so you put that together. Then you unfold the barrel. Then the little tip of the barrel. Then there you go. You have a second gun for Optimus. It looks very interesting for Prime. I'm definitely a bigger fan of the smokestack gun because it actually looks like his ion blaster. And it's also just really cool looking. I love his smokestack gun. But obviously, you can arm him up with another gun if you want. And I think that's still really cool. But I personally just like it being on his back. It's just what I prefer. But one cool thing is if you don't want him with the smokestack gun and you'd rather him have the smokestacks on his back, more like G1 Prime, you can actually attach them to the back panel like I did with this version. You can see you can just attach them back there, and then you can just give them a different gun if you want. I genuinely forget what version of the gun this is. It's just one that I have that this version has had for years and years. It's actually crazy how old even this repaint is. I believe this is one of the most recent versions of the toy ever released in 2014. So this release was 11 years ago, and the time in between this release and now is actually greater between the time of this release and the original release, which just makes time feel like an illusion. This is a toy that's nearly 20 years old. But honestly, with how old it is, I still think it absolutely shines. Look at this Nemesis Prime. Now, I know some people aren't the biggest fan of this Nemesis because it doesn't have the red, and it has more, dark blues going on, but I love this deco. I love it so, so much. This is probably my favorite Nemesis Prime in my collection. It is So nice. It does still have the teal going on. I actually really do like the clear purple. You know, typically it's clear red, but I actually like the clear purple a lot. You can see he's got a Decepticon symbol. This sculpt and everything just looks really menacing for Nemesis Prime. This is still my main shelf Nemesis Prime. Like, they have not done one yet that I feel like I enjoy more than this. This is just so sick. And my most recent version of the mold that I've gotten is the Target 2-pack Ultra Magnus. I am a huge fan of White Prime, like the Ultra Magnus White Prime. I'm such a big fan of it. I really prefer when Ultra Magnus is a White Prime. And one really cool thing is that one of the very first third-party items ever released was the big Fans Project armor set for this mold. You can literally make Ultra Magnus. It's really neat. I have seen it in person several times. I've thought about getting it, but I just don't know if I need it. They've done it in various decos. They did it in quite a few decos. But I think I'm just happy with the actual original mold. I love the look of Magnus. The stark white is so nice and bright. The clear blue just really pops. I actually really like the blue on the legs. I think that's very interesting looking. And even the deco, like on the truck, you can see he's got like these silver stripes and then more blue and everything. It just looks so nice. I really love the more unique decos they did for Classics. Kind of made them a little bit more modern, reinvented the characters a bit. It just wasn't straight up G1 Optimus. It was a new iteration of the character. And I think the reinvention here is probably one of the reasons why I like this guy so much. Lining up all 4 of my Classics Optimus Primes, I'm honestly not sure if I can pick a favorite. I love them all for so many different reasons. White Magnus is just something that appeals to me. The Nemesis Prime is my favorite Nemesis in my collection. The G1 toy deco that was released in Age of Extinction in the Evolution set is just so sublime. That chrome on the legs is gorgeous, and it continues into the truck mode. And the original Classics mold, I actually really like that yellow. It just really pops as a tertiary color. It's nice. And the articulation on this figure is very nice and satisfying as well. He has a swivel at the head, but if you do kind of undo the transformation a little bit, he can look up a little bit, and he actually can look down as well, which is very neat. It's actually funny, he can actually do the such heroic nonsense pose, which for Optimus is very not fitting, but it's cool he can do it. His shoulders move very nicely, bicep swivel, nice 90 at the elbow, nothing at the wrist. He does have a swivel at the waist, which is actually pretty impressive for the time. You do have to move some of the stuff on his back out of the way, but you can move it. And you can also move, like, up above. That's more of a transformation joint, but it's something you can work with. The hips move forward, they move back, and they do move out. On my chrome version, the joints are a little stiffer. It does have a knee swivel, a knee bend that actually goes in pretty well. And he does have a joint at the ankle, which you can use for, you know, some poses. No rocker. Rockers weren't really very well used back in 2006. But overall, it's a fun figure to pose, and I can't get over how nice and chunky and durable this feels. Like, it's a very nice feeling figure. I do want to get a bit closer in on some of the sculpted detail on this mold, because you can just see all these little bits of circuitry and work and everything. It's just so nice. I love all the surface detail. This genuinely feels like a toy of the era, and that is absolutely complimenting it in every way possible. This guy, like, look at all those screws and everything. Really sturdy construction. Oh, dude. Get yourself a Classics Prime. Alright, let's go ahead and transform it. I'll transform the Nemesis version because I love this version. I actually got this guy. It was a store called Game Swap in the, I believe, Tri-County Mall in Cincinnati, Ohio. Rest in peace to that entire mall. The entire mall is just decimated. But I got a lot of awesome figures at that mall, including this Nemesis Prime. I got a lot of my first Transformers animated figures there as well. It was such a cool little store. Unfortunately, you know, gone but not forgotten. It's a very nice, satisfying transformation on this guy. Like, I just genuinely have a blast every single time I do it. It's just so smooth, so simple, so efficient as well. Like, I don't feel like anything gets in the way. I don't feel like anything's giving me issues. It gets it done. It knows the Prime transformation, and it excels at it. It does an absolutely fantastic job. We go ahead and take this, cover that up there. Then the legs are fairly simple. They don't really collapse or anything. They just kind of go back there. The feet straighten. I really love these panels on the side, how they kind of blend the back and the front of the truck together. It's just some really nice design symmetry. And last but not least, we will transform the gun. We just split it in half. Just like, come on. Ah, there we go. Just like that. Flip those bits in, flip those bits in. And then those asymmetrical holes on his arms you probably saw earlier will be what connects it to the back. And here we are. Here is the Classics Optimus Prime mold in the truck mode in the Nemesis Prime colors, looking absolutely fantastic. But we have 3 other Classics Optimus Primes to get transformed, so let's go ahead and do that. And here we are. Here is the lineup of my Classics Optimus Prime trucks. And this alt mode is just so good, dude. This truck looks powerful. It looks beefy. It looks like something that you definitely don't want to see the front bumper of coming at you very fast. It's just sick, man. I love this mold, and I want more repaints of it. I really want the Shattered Glass repaint. I think there was a Fire Guts repaint, if I'm not mistaken. I want as many different repaints of this mold I can really get my hands on. I love this mold so much. So I would have to say the king of the truck modes definitely has to go to the Age of Extinction Evolution set one. Look at this chrome. It's just so pretty. And it has the classic G1 Prime striping on the side. Like, it's basically just, you know, the G1 Prime deco put on this Classics mold. And I think it's just very well done. Look at the pinned wheels. All the wheels are pinned. Look at the nice yellow paint and everything. It's just so well done. But even looking at the Classics Prime version, I really do like that blue on the side. Again, kind of blending in the back from the front. The silver striping this time around, a little bit modernized, actually has a little pinstripe right there, and the silver continues on the top as well. I remember when I first started getting into Transformers, I was like, oh, I really like the Classics Prime, but why did they add all this silver to it? But nowadays, I love that. I love how it's different. I enjoy that. And of course, because it is an original Classics figure, it does have the rub sign, which is very nice. Yeah, it's so good. I love the look of the smokestacks on the back. It rolls very well. It's solid. It's durable. And if you don't like this bit on the top, you can actually just remove it if you want to have a more classic Prime look. Now, I wouldn't really suggest doing that because you can see, you know, some bits and the back of the head. But if you prefer how that looks, you have the option. You know, the option is there. But I personally really like the look of this on the top. It looks so good. And then the Nemesis deco is actually very similar to the Optimus deco. You can see the striping is very similar and everything. It's just a darker silver. It's more of a gunmetal silver. It really is a nice mirror of the Optimus. I really feel like these figures are very nice companion pieces. I really enjoy how these decos blend together. Very good. However, the Ultra Magnus deco actually does a lot of different stuff. You can see the top deco is entirely different. Again, I love that blue and I love the silver striping. The silver striping on the side is different. I actually really like this curvature right here. How it goes from the wheel and then it goes up. That's just so pretty. This deco reminds me of a Hot Wheels car. And I think that's probably one of the reasons I really enjoy it. Now, one unfortunate thing about the Magnus is that the painted white is different from the white plastic. He is not yellowed. He's not yellowed. That is just the difference in the white paint and the white plastic. That's just what happens when you have to paint a clear part. You know, it's not gonna be a perfect color match. But it doesn't bug me that much. I still love this deco. Look at the color of the wheels. That's really cool. Oh man, I love this mold so much. Well guys, there we go. There is my fleet of Transformers Classics Optimus Prime molds. After I did my April Fool's video, I'm like, I actually have to make a genuine video on this mold and the repaints I have of it because I just love it so much. This is seriously one of my favorite Optimus Primes in my collection. It's one of the very few I made the exception for when it comes to repaints. Like, that list is very small. It's very small. One of the only other figures on the list is the G1 Optimus mold himself. That's one of the only other exceptions. Other than that, there has to be some sort of retool or new head sculpt, something like that for me to justify getting it. But this mold, gimme. Gimme all the Classics Primes, man. I love this so much. I highly recommend you get your hands on one of these. I personally would recommend the Nemesis Prime, just because I think it looks really cool. But I do understand not everybody's a fan of the Nemesis because it doesn't have the clear red. I believe there's a Takara version that has the clear red. If you want to go and find that, be my guest. I'm sure it's very expensive. But I personally love the Classics deco for Nemesis. I think it looks gorgeous. The Magnus is really neat. If you want to just have like the white Optimus Prime on your shelf without sacrificing, you know, one of your Siege or Kingdom Ultra Magnuses. Me personally, I also sacrificed my Siege Magnus just to have the white Prime. And I'll just keep my Kingdom one all armored up. But I love having just the white Ultra Magnus Optimus in my collection. It's just one I really enjoy. And of course, Optimus Prime himself. You have so many different flavors. Takara did so many different versions as well. I personally, my favorite probably has to go to the Age of Extinction Evolution set, because I just adore the G1 toy deco on that. It's just so pretty. But the Classics paint job itself is just a classic. That's the whole name, right? After nearly 20 years, this mold still stands the test of time. It's one that I still absolutely hold to a very high standard. I love Classics Prime. There is a reason why this mold has been kind of the poster boy for modern generations Transformers for damn near 2 decades, because it's just that freaking good. I know some people are going to hate that arm kibble. I personally love it. Kind of looks like little shields. I don't know. I vibe with it. I vibe. I vibe with everything this toy has going on. Alrighty, I've rambled long enough. Thank you guys so much for watching. Special shout out to channel members as always. Thank you all so much for the continued support. Have a great one, guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.